Welcome to Gillette World Sports Special, the only show that captures the complete sporting experience from China, Europe, and the Americas to Africa and Asia. This is the global show that has it all. News, reviews, the grand finals, the world champions. But there's a place in our hearts for the small-timers, too. Yes, they're all here on the #1 show, Gillette World Sports Special. We start with the bird of rubber this week. Nick Doohan comes to Donington, where the world title could be his. The others just jostle behind.
Oh, they touch! They touch at nearly 110 miles an hour through the kind of curves. Arbe's on the grass.
And there's high-speed contact in our next item, too. The latest action from round 20 of the Aussie rules.
That's a sensational step by Franku. He's kicked a beauty.
Then we go BMXing, the sport bikes that can do just about anything. They can dance, and they can fly. And so too can the windsurfers. We catch up with the PWA World Tour, where the action ranges from Fuerteventura to Fiji. And as usual, we've all the latest wire service news. Watch out, Martina Hingis. Monica Seles is back to her best again. Who says a bobsleigh run is a waste of space in a heat wave? The inline skaters find a summer use for the winter sport venues. First up, though, is the British 500cc Grand Prix. All Mick Doohan needs is 7th place, and he's won his 4th consecutive world title. He lives at an altitude that leaves others gasping for breath, said one of the journalists covering the race. And that about captures Doohan. He's been supreme this season. He's won 9 of the 10 races.
Well, they charge down to Redgate for the first time, and it's going to be Alex Barros that does lead from Norifumi Abe on the Yamaha, who was well down in the middle of the grid, but he's got a best start of all. He's up now into 2nd position. There is Romboni on his Aprilia streaming through, so it's Alexander Barros who finishes this first lap in the lead. He is ahead of Tadej Okada and Michael Doohan, and Norifumi Abe, Carlos Checa. He is in 5th position on his Honda V4. It's a Honda V twin leading, not quite as powerful, but it's a lighter machine, better on the brakes, and more nimble round the corners. Doohan now comes up into 2nd position ahead of Okada as they come round the Melbourne hairpin. 30 miles an hour first gear, the slowest corner on the track, and another slow corner out of Goddard that brings them onto the front straight, and it looked like it. Doohan is up into the lead. #1 is leading the British Grand Prix now ahead of Alex Barros, now in that 2nd place. 3rd position is Tadej Okada. 4th position is Norik Abe, and then Checa goes down. Carlos Checa falls from 5th position on his movie star machine. He goes down the road again. He's fallen at McLean's corner. He holds his head, and he may well do, because he hurt himself on Friday in the first qualifying session. Okada's up into 2nd. Yes, nice maneuver on the brakes into the chicane, the left and then the right. Gobert out of the race. He was running in 10th position behind his teammate Darrell Beatty. Now we've got the change for 3rd position. It looks like it's going to be Abe who takes 3rd position away from Alex Barros as they go into Redgate. The Barros is fighting back. Barros is fighting back. They're going down the crane of curves. Barros has got the speed advantage. He's trying to go around the outside. Oh, they touch! They touch at nearly 110 miles an hour through the crane of curves. Abe's on the grass. He just manages to keep the machine upright. Mamma mia, how the dickens he did that, I'll never know. 110 miles an hour on the grass on a Yamaha V4. He shakes his head. But we need to concentrate with the leaders. This is the battle for 3rd. It's Doohan and Okada. Doohan into the last corner. Okada is trying desperately to get past him. Doohan is not only going to win his 4th consecutive World Championship, he's going to win the race. He does. He wins the British Grand Prix just ahead of his own teammate Tadayuki Okada. And what a nice gesture to the British fans. He takes his helmet off. And this is the style of the old days. He's got the celebratory flags, and he's on the top step of the podium, and the T-shirts are out already. Barros does get 3rd position behind Tadayuki Okada.
I really enjoyed that race. It was a lot of fun. It was a difficult race. But the reason I don't talk about the championship is because it's motor racing. The bike could break, I could crash, anything could happen. And I've been in the position before, and it hasn't worked out. So it's never over until it's over. But today it's over, and I'm sure the rest of the year will be just a lot of fun, just trying to do the best we can.
Doohan choosing his words carefully. He's well aware of the dangers involved. Crashes are part of every race, but so too is Dr. Claudio Costa, the Italian medic whose mobile clinic is always in the caravan car park. After Dewan's crash 5 years ago, Dr. Costa saved Dewan's career by grafting one leg to the other and so restoring the circulation. A kind of miracle operation that has given Costa a special relationship with the riders. They adore him. They contribute to his clinic, and so do the sponsors. And this football game, the 500cc riders against an Italian women's team, was for the same good cause. When the racing's on, Dewan is as mean as they come. But when it's all over, the hard-nosed Aussie breaks into one of the winningest smiles in the business. After his win, he was grinning from ear to ear, and not only because of the championship. He was a judge at the Miss Grand Prix 1997 competition. There were 15 girls, one for each round of the championship. The winner got a free trip to Miami and a polite handshake from Dewan himself. What a gentleman. Dewan comes from the glitzy Gold Coast. At the heart of that is Brisbane, who play Port Adelaide in our Aussie Rules Game of the Week. Who's going to get into the final 8? With 2 rounds left, the Brisbane Lions in the dark shorts are 8th. Port are 9th. The game was a real rip snorter, as they say down under. The halftime score, 26 to Brisbane, 55 to Adelaide.
Both teams added quick goals early in the third term.
Over the body. Nakamanis, a left foot snap. Jason Nakamanis has fired them up in the second half. He's tackled. He's brought to ground. He can lose the ball. They go again. It's right on the line. Kept in play and wobbling. I think it's there. It's a Port goal.
Wilson.
He's got it. There's no doubt.
Let's go to the action midway through the third quarter.
Lappin picks it up. He goes down towards Bamford, who's 60 metres out from goal. Spears in the pass. It's a beauty to Bradshaw. 27 goals, 10 for the season for Daniel Bradshaw. Straight through the middle. The Lions hit back here at the Gabba. Affectionately known as the Orange Roughie. He goes in towards half forward. Bradshaw again. They're starting to fire up here at the Gabba. Bradshaw for his second. And that's good too. They're back in town, the Brisbane Lions. They've got their 8th.
So Lappin to Ashcroft. And all of a sudden, Brisbane coming forward. Lepage has been the danger man. Richard Champion can run into the open goal and should bang it through. He's got it.
The Lions have roared back into the game. Cummings kept them at arm's length with another goal.
The Power desperately need a steadier. Cummings for his second. He kicked one at this end in the first quarter.
We rejoin the third quarter late in the term. It's Port by 13 points.
And this for his 100th career goal. They like it here at the Gabba. Marcus has hit the century.
Bad bounce for Daniels, taken away by Champion. Now back in defence. He's pushed back hard. Chance for Ackermanis with pace. He's caught. Great running from behind by Port Power. The loose ball comes to McRae. He's been on the interchange bench in his third term. Great vision finds Tristan Lynch. He'll run to 50. Should feed the ball off. He does. Running to his Bamford. A goal coming up. Fantastic play, Brisbane.
Bamford's goal was the last of the quarter. Port's lead now a solitary point, 11-12-78 to 11-11-77. The pressure was enormous early in the final quarter. McRae put the Lions in front.
Can he kick a goal? He's drilled it. They've hit the front for the first time.
He do something fancy. Donald into the pocket to Scotty Cummings.
Cummings refused to panic and bagged another.
40 metres out. The drop punt is on its way. The goal umpire has a good look. Not a bad-looking kick. Not a bad-looking kick. And pull
It's still just 1 point the difference. Which team will be in 8th spot by the end of the night? Let's go back to what is set up to be a thrilling finale to a great match.
Dick Boss goes to the outer side. He wanted Lynch, but Donald Dickey is there. Dickey needs support. That's okay. He's got it. The kick is a wobbly one to Cummings, but he's inside 50. Scotty Cummings pumps it in towards goal, and he's kicked it. Oh, what a finish here at the Gabba.
Yet to kick a goal. This will get the Lions back to within a point. He doesn't like it. I know Brisbane fans unhappy.
This will give Port a chance to man up.
So McRae does the right thing. He bombs it long. The high flyers. Big pack of players at the back. Bradshaw can kick it off the ground. Did he get his foot to the ball?
It's up to the goal.
Brisbane think he has. He's got it. Scored to level. 19 seconds left in the game. Look at John Cale shaking the head in disbelief. 93 points apiece. 19 seconds left.
There goes the siren. We've got a draw. They are stunned. This crowd is stunned, and look at the players. Dog time, absolute exhaustion, and a draw.
An incredible end to an absorbing game. The final scores locked together at 13-15-93.
Yes, it couldn't have been closer. But now to the Netherlands and this year's BMX Freestyle World Championship. 4 days of competition, which includes the flatlands, the mini ramp, the half pipe, and the king of the dirt, won by America's Ryan Brenner with a huge tail whip jump in the final round. Inside the hall, the Flatlands competition was being hotly contested by 2 Canadians. The Flatlands is the most technical of the 4 disciplines. The riders have 3 minutes to impress the judges with a routine of intricate tricks. Jason Brown took second place with an almost flawless display. But Andrew Farris, like a good ballroom dancer, took the first spot, keeping in perfect step with his tubular partner, and became the 1997 Flatlands champion. Next up was the mini ramp. This comprises 2 half-pipe sections joined together by a spine. It was one of the biggest seen in competition, and this inspired yet another Canadian. Alex Bender put on an excellent display, good enough for victory. The event everybody was waiting for was the half-pipe. Unfortunately, the weather had its part to play and interrupted the final, which left the organizers having to use the semi-final scores to decide the outcome. Simon Tavron from Britain was third. Dave Osati from Canada had the best of fortune. After being injured in the King of the Dirt, he was not going to compete in the final, but his spirited performance in the semis gave him the second spot. Everybody's favorite for the half-pipe, British rider Jamie Bestwick was the top point scorer in the semis, and so he was awarded first place. And with it came the World Champion's crown.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jamie Bestwick from Great Britain.
You're watching NBC.
Well, what the BMX boys do on their bikes, the windsurfers do on their boards. Let's catch up now with the latest action from the PWA Windsurfing World Tour.
It's a free sport. It's a sport that you play at. You just go and have a good time. Whoever's having the best time is going to win.
The PWA World Tour is made up of events around the globe, ranging from the peeling waves of Fiji to the nuclear winds of Gran Canaria. Though the tour includes events like speed contests and indoor challenges, the main events are wave competitions and races. Racing is the biggest event in windsurfing. Sailors use wind and tactics to thread through buoys and cross the finish line. The first PWA event of the year was in Almenar, France. Bjorn Dunkerbeck, 9 times reigning world champion, had a slow start. losing to American Micah Bouzinis.
I'm excited about the season now. I mean,
Bouzinis, who was being tipped by many as the next contender for the race world crown, then went on to win another 2 events in Aruba and the Dominican Republic. But it was Gran Canaria, Bjorn Dunkerbeck's home waters, where the real showdown was to take place.
organized history, the people counts.
In the end, Dunkerbeck proved his point with a first-place win. In the next race, the Fuerteventura Super Grand Slam, Bjorn won first again, establishing himself in the lead for the race title. Challengers Mike Bouzinis and Sweden's Anders Brindell have followed, tied in second place. In women's racing, the field is even tighter. In Almenor, 7 times reigning women's champion Nathalie Leliev of France lost to local competitor Valerie Guibaudot. Leliev and Guibaudot dueled again in Gran Canaria, and again Guibaudot won.
I was very, very happy. I'm very, very happy. I made a few mistakes and I didn't win, so.
Leliev finally made her comeback in Fuerteventura, and a poor showing by Guibaudot gives Leliev the lead for the race title. Consistent performances by Germany's Jutta Müller and Switzerland's Karen Yagi mean that it's still anybody's ballgame in women's racing. In waves, the 1997 PWA Wave Tour began in the spectacular setting of Fiji.
Namoto Island, tiny speck of paradise for the person that truly loves the ocean.
In wave competitions, Bjorn Dunkerbeck is again a strong competitor. However, new events like Fiji have opened the field to sailors like American Robbie Nash and Australian Jason Polikow, who specialize in wave performance. In Fiji, Dunkerbeck was knocked out in the semifinals by this man, Josh Stone, whose tremendous jumps were the biggest of the event.
He comes as a friend to
In the end, though, Stone lost to Robbie Nash, whose consistent, perfect style amazed the judges.
waits for a time to show his face.
The next wave event in Gran Canaria saw an upset win by this man, Vidar Jensen, who pulled off a move never seen before in competition, the double forward. But it's consistency that counts in the championship, and Robbie Nash still holds the lead for the wave title, ahead of Jason Polikow and Bjorn Dunkerbeck.
Still kept within.
In the women's wave competition in Fiji, it was Olympic medal winner Barbara Kendall who tackled the mast-high waves to win the event. But then in Gran Canaria, women's wave sailing was taken by storm with the arrival of the twins, Ibaya and Daida Moreno, the only women in the world doing push loops. The current leader in the wave championship is Germany's Jutta Müller, whose consistent results have given her the edge. The race for the overall windsurfing world championship will be won by the sailor with the most combined points in racing and wave sailing. In the women's overall, it's a battle between Jutta Müller and Nathalie Leliev, with Müller holding a narrow lead at present. In the men's, there is no surprise. The unbeatable Bjorn Dunkerbeck has the lead, and if he wins, he will take a 10th consecutive world championship title. However, in a sport that depends on conditions as fickle as wind and waves, nothing is certain except the fact that there'll be more surprises and a whole lot more action.
The headlines now from the World Sport Newsroom. And Monica Seles has won her 3rd straight Canadian Open. She's had indifferent form since making her return to the Women's Tour. She went straight back into the rankings as equal #1 with Steffi Graf. But since then, a new star has been rising in the shape of Monica Hingis. And Seles slipped down the rankings. But she's now back to her best. You forget how young she is. She's still only 23 years old. And she took the first set against Germany's Anke Huber, 6 games to 2.
Game Seles.
In the second set, Huber broke Seles's serve to lead 4-3. But Selish won the next 2 games. Huber was then serving to stay in the match, but double faulted on match point, giving Selish the 40th win of her career, and just the build-up she needs to the forthcoming U.S. Open. Soccer and the black and white of Juventus in an unusual setting, the village of Villa Perosa in northwestern Italy. Juventus were last season's Italian champions. But before their domestic season begins in earnest, they traditionally play a mid-August exhibition game against a side from one of the lower divisions. This year, it was 4th Division Sparta, a team also owned by Giovanni Agnelli, the Fiat boss and owner of Juventus. Filippo Inzaghi, the leading Serie A scorer last year, laid one off nicely for Zidane, the French international. That was Juventus' 2nd goal, and there were 6 more after that for the side they called the Old Lady of Turin. They recently celebrated their 100th birthday. The final score, 8-0. Soccer in mid-August, and that's not the only sport of the European winter season taking place in the burning summer months. In the German ski resort of Königssee, they decided to use their downhill bobsleigh run, not for the winter sportsmen, but for the rollerbladers. 65 of Europe's best inline skaters competed for the King of the Bob Run title. In winter, the run is sprayed with water, which then freezes into ice for the regular bob races. But why not use it without the ice? Frenchman Christophe Aubenet broke the 1-minute barrier to set the time to beat. And that was immediately done by Hansi Kotterich from Germany. He went 0.2 of a second faster. But quicker still was another Frenchman, Luc Lenoir, the only man to dip under 1 minute at the inaugural race last year. Lenoir improved his time this year with a scorching and winning run of 56.24.
Kotterich und Luc Lenoir.
Coming up next week, more water sport with a difference, the European Wakeboarding World Tour. And more action from Belgium, but serious business this time, the Belgian Formula One Grand Prix. So join us then for the show that puts a premium on action. The champions, the challengers, the Super Bowl, the sideshows. You'll find them all here on Gillette World Sports Special.